What do you think of when you hear the word Corolla? If you're like me, you probably think of something basic. Plain white bread or milk. The building blocks of a developing body. The word Corolla generally means a common, simple, and easy-to-drive car, a tool used for developing new drivers. But there's a connotation to the name. Most think Corollas are completely devoid of character, even if you give it a lovely nickname such as Toyota Creamy? Now you must be thinking, nothing to see here, he's comparing a boring car to boring food. Actually no, not this one. Eddy's 1981 Corolla TE72 Sport Coupe is not only unique, but also bursting with flavor and character. It's not the most exciting thing to look at on paper with its maybe 90 horsepower and 100 pound-feet of torque, and that's actually after the upgraded carburetor. But look at that beautiful sparkle silver paint job, and its boxy, retro exterior. This isn't just any Corolla. It's the father of the AE86 and the grandfather of the BRZ FRS GT86 cars. This car's frame is thin and soft, sort of like a tortilla. And once you've had a taste of it, you realize how many pleasantries you can extract from driving this machine. Plain bread or milk? No, that would be a fallacy. This car, to me, is a quesadilla. And I love quesadillas. Hell yeah. Five-speed manual and a manual steering rack. There is no power steering in this thing, which makes it feel really, really good. This is a car where you want to enjoy life as it goes by. You're taking your time because you can't see it go by quickly. It's got not a lot of power and not a lot of torque. But you're gonna savor the moments. You're gonna hear the exhaust pop. Going over bumps in this thing, you definitely feel a lot of it. It's not exactly spine shattering, but Eddy's got this pretty stiff racing seat bolted to the ground. And yeah, it's maybe not the most luxurious to sit in, but I don't think anyone's buying this vehicle for luxury purposes. I think you buy this because it has a ton of character and you get to hear sounds like that. To use the turn signal, you have to be sure of it because it's over here. You have to reach for it. Like, yes, I am in fact turning. Owning a car like this, you have to be strong. Owning a car like this makes you stronger because, well, there's no power steering. You have to wrangle the steering wheel when you're going slowly. Eddy drives this car in the sun, in the rain, and in the snow. And I applaud him for that. The sheet metal is thin, all the panels are thin, The engine isn't the strongest. But I can totally see why someone would own a car like this. Yes, there's a little bit of suffering involved with ownership of this vehicle, but there's also a ton of enjoyment. I think variety is the spice of life, and this car is really spicy. There's a sort of pleasant simplicity to this Corolla. It's zesty and it's piquant. And I wasn't very comfortable. It's creaky, the exhaust is loud, and you feel like a victim in it because you can die at any moment due to the presence of other vehicles on the road. And because it's not equipped with AC or any creature comforts, I felt like melted cheese after a drive in the hot weather. You can listen to any music you want as long as you have the cassette tape. And I could go on with the many small issues that plague this 40-year-old car, but I think the owner, Eddy, sums up the experience of driving this car very nicely.
Every once in a while, it kind of just, I don't know, it gets to like, you're driving it every day and it's just like your car, but then you're kind of reminded every once in a while when you go around a corner, you get on the throttle or something, hear the exhaust, it's like, oh man, this is a 40-year-old Corolla, this is really fun.
What is your one favorite thing about this car?
One favorite thing. I like it as a whole. I like how raw it is. How it doesn't really help you with anything. You kind of just have to do everything yourself. I love that. So, you know, no assists of any kind. It's kind of nice.
What is the thing you hate most about this car?
There's always a clunk somewhere when you go over bumps. There's been a clunk in the front left forever, and I can't figure it out. I think it might just be worn bushings, which I'm going to try and replace soon. But yeah, it is 40 years old, so it's got like its kind of weird little noises it makes.
How long have you owned this car?
Owned it since October of last year. So, a year.
1 year.
Happy year.
And have you had to replace anything?
Oh yeah. There are lots of little things wrong with it. Every part of the braking system minus the brake booster I've replaced, and the hard lines. So I've replaced all the rubber lines with steel braided lines, and it's got a new brake master, and all the fluids and stuff. And I've had to tune up the carb a bit, and it shredded the accessory belt, and probably some other stuff I'm forgetting. I had to tighten up the steering, and yeah, basically it was just, it's an old car. The biggest thing I had was when I thought it kept overheating, but I found out that it was just because the coolant temp gauge likes to just spaz out every once in a while, and then it goes back to normal. So I need a new one of those.
Eddy's Corolla is tastefully modified with front AE86 suspension and brakes, G-lock pads, Dunlop Z3 tires, an exhaust, a racing seat, and a lovely wooden steering wheel. This Corolla defies the connotation of its nameplate. It's like that quesadilla that might appear to be like just any other quesadilla, but you bite into this one, with its crispy exterior and juicy interior, and you realize you've achieved bliss. There's a feeling that this car provides that most others don't, and that's excitement. Not the instant gratification sort of excitement that us modern beings experience with the swipe of a finger, but the fulfilling sort of excitement that you have to work for. You have to work to drive this car, to steer this car, to keep up with traffic in this car. And that feels good. A bunch of kids were yelling at you, "Nice DeLorean." Hi, Marty McFly. Are you Marty McFly? So, just to ask the same question that those kids asked, are you Marty McFly?
I can't speak on that at the moment.
This thing doesn't have any airbags.
No.
Yeah.
I think it has a collapsible steering column, so it shouldn't
Okay.
stab me in the throat,
Mm.
in theory. But,
Well, I hope it doesn't. And let's
you.
knock on wood.
yeah. Good enough.
Excellent. I love that wooden steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's so
I
classy.
like it.
Feels so good.
This seat isn't actually mine. I'm borrowing it indefinitely from a friend of a friend, apparently. So I don't want to get it dirty
Ah,
in case they want it back.
gotcha. Well, again, I do apologize for.
Yeah, how are we going to open the door?
That's a later problem. What are your plans for this car?
I don't want to go like full track car with it because it's not really worth it because
It's your daily.
it's a daily. Yeah, it's my daily, and it's it's an old Corolla. But I would like to get like a proper set of like BC racing coilovers for all around, and just kind of have it set up really nicely for the street and track.
Yeah.
And do some more work on the engine, just get a little more power. It's, it's making maybe 90 horsepower right now, as it is. And for factory, it makes like 75. So it does feel like more than stock, which is nice with the Weber carb on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it would be nice to have a little more power.
Awesome. I feel like everyone wants more power in anything.
Yeah.
If you're a car guy, you just want to throw more power, and if you made this quesadilla, you just wanted to add more fat, because like,
So much grease.
yeah, man, we're like dripping.
Yeah. I mean, too much power sucks too.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
in such a light car.
Yeah, just like in these quesadillas, there's too much power. There's too much grease. I mean, they're delicious though.
Do we have napkins?